Fire away, guys.
In the spot where you guys are team-wise right now, what do you want to get accomplished in these next 3 games, and maybe especially with the young guys?
Yeah, that's what it is. It was just getting better every week. We look at, the young players especially. I mean, those guys are, they're working hard, and I'm kind of pleased with. I like our kickoff and punt, our kickoff return stuff is looking better and better. I think Matt Arise is having a really good year. It's probably his best year, obviously. And, and then obviously with Bucker, I mean, things happen, but that's where we're at.
Not just Matt, but there's a lot of other guys around the league that you've worked with that are among the best punters in the league. Do you take some pride in that, just that you've had an impact on some guys around the league?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I never sat back and reflected yet. I'm not there yet, but I've had a lot of success in my past, so it's all good.
You mentioned Harrison. I mean, have you ever, you talked about being like a golf swing and everything.
Yeah.
It seems like every golfer kind of gets out of whack here and there, but are you ever really confident, or is every time a kicker goes out there, he's a heartbeat faster?
I'm confident with Bucker. I am. I know, it flared up a couple times this year and showed up. I have no doubt that he's going to get back on track and have a great year next year. You can't say he's going to have he can finish, make all his kicks, and still the year is of the year. It's what he did. So, I really believe, he's going to get it fixed and come back and be as good as ever. I really do.
Because of the standing, are you open to doing more moves like getting Richard, just more returns, just because
he's going to get more? I mean, just out of the fact that Taekwon's out, he's going to get more. We're going to try to get him more touches, obviously. He's another young player that we're trying to develop, and he's really come a long way, and he's done a real good job handling the football, and it's not too big for him, and he's done a good job. He's just another one of those young players that we're excited about.
You guys had so many guys leave that game in general. It seemed like pretty consistently. But when Patrick goes down, just on the sideline, what's that moment like? I mean, is just like anyone else where you're just thinking about next play?
Yeah, we all felt like you guys did too. Everybody. I mean, the fans. I mean, it was hard. That's being honest. I mean, it was different at practice. I mean, just going out and he's not out there at practice. I mean, that's different. But the guys are rallying behind Gardner, and it's, we're going to have a good practice today. We had a real good one yesterday. So, I mean, that's the way it is. They're professional. They're going to come back, and we're going to do everything in our power to win these last 3 games.
You guys haven't had the end of the season like this since you guys have been here. You're going to play some young guys maybe here or there, but is this a chance to have a little fun too? Maybe do some things that you wouldn't maybe do if the stakes were higher?
I'm worried about them doing it to us. Because they're in the same boat. I'm talking this week, Titans. So, yeah. I mean, I just want to see solid play. I mean, I want to see guys make the tackles when they're available. I want to see them get off blocks. I want to see, great protection on punt, and and all those little things. And that's all I'm looking for. And then, and just get better in the return game. Get more opportunities for Nico. I mean, those are the things that we're looking for.
It seems like Kevin Knowles is really ascending. What have you seen out of him, and what are you hoping to see over the next 3 weeks?
Kevin he's really. I'm really excited about him. He's it seems like every week he makes a big play, like he made the tackle on the kickoff. I mean, that thing. I don't even know how he held onto the ball. That was such a good hit. But he continues to show up. Plays fast. He's tough as nails. I mean, he will block the biggest guy. Like, he's a junkyard dog, man. He's just. I love him. And. We're excited about it. He's got really good speed, and we're excited as a corner. What he's going to do for us on defense. So, but I think, coming up next year, I'm going to count on him a lot. I'm already counting on him now. So.
Couple more.
Sorry. You mentioned Ariza having a great year. The thing, from an outside perspective, seems he's really perfected that. Sticking it and having it bounce back.
Right.
Is that you go to work? You send a guy out to work on one thing in an off season, or is like, here's all 10 things and that's just the kick? That's really
that was one of them. That was the main one. Was we had too many touchbacks, and then he definitely ironed that out. He's got that down. He's got a better feel Other things that we need to work on is his direction of his normal punts. You know, he's hanging the ball well, but we just got to get it moved. I mean, that's the next step. But he's really developed into a solid punter.
Just as a follow-up, is that if you have the leg, you can it just takes reps to get that, or some guys is it just like throwing a baseball? Some guys have the touch, some guys don't.
Yeah, I think you got to work at it. You know, you can get better and better at it. I mean, you know, it's an end-over-end kick, so you can really bang it. You know, there's a little less margin for error in that type of kick than there is in a normal punt. So it's just a matter of, you know, getting that touch, you know, like in a golf swing short game. And then, you know, his normal punts, he's you know, he was a young player coming in. He didn't have a lot of experience punting. I mean, he was, you know, when we first got him. And, you know, I think the sky's the limit for him. He just keeps getting better.
Last one, anyone? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Sun's out. It's supposed to get a little windy, so we'll see if we're inside or outside. I don't really have a lot. We're on to the next game here. It's NFL Thursday, and I thought our guys worked pretty good yesterday. So with that, I'll open it up.
Do you anticipate, you know, I know a lot of the young guys, Andy said, hey, we're already playing the young guys, but getting more reps for the young guys?
We'll see. I mean, listen, during the game, you know, last week we dealt with some injuries, and we're dealing with some other ones this week, so we'll see what that takes us. But, you know, the one thing is that our unit, you know, I mean, listen, we want to finish strong here. You know, we take one game at a time and play really well in this game. So we're going to put guys out there to do that. But will some young guys get in there and play? Probably, yeah.
You know, there are a lot of fans that be like, oh, just lose, improve your draft.
Yeah.
Doesn't work out.
No, I don't think we were. Our guys aren't built that way. I mean, I don't think there's a coach or a player that's built like that. I know. I always say this, like, if we had a basketball court right out here, and you took any 6 of the guys in that locker room and said, "Go play 3-on-3," they would be knocking each other over to win the game, right? Even if there was $1 on the line, that's just how they're built. So I don't think that'll change in the game.
One of the guys I didn't see on the injury report was Nick. He came off the field a couple of times and kept going out there. What was going on with him during the game?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember exactly. I think they took him in one time to check concussion, but he was fine because he came back pretty quick. And then I don't know if it was shoulder or something, but he was right back in there. You'd have to ask him exactly what they were, but I do remember one was a little bit of concussion.
That's a little weird spot because he's your green dot guy. I saw Alan down there.
Yeah, we were down.
Alan,
he goes to work pretty quick, so it was get the helmet to Drew, and then Drew became the guy that I was communicating with, even though Jack was the guy that went in for Nick. But yeah, that gets a little bit tricky. I remember us doing that when I first got here. Anthony Hitchens was playing on the first and second end, and Ben Neiman would go out in the diamond. I remember Alan was over there constantly doing and he did a great job at it. So he's experienced. We got it done pretty good.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Zach Pickens, the young defensive tackle?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we got him up to the 53. We'll see if we get him to game day. But it's probably to what Soren's talking about. I mean, this is an opportunity, or could be an opportunity, to see somebody that we haven't seen yet. But again, the focus is going to be to prevent as many points by Tennessee's offense as possible. That's our job.
Steve, we haven't seen Jeff Fossa much on defense. Where is he right now?
Well, I mean, he's been playing special teams, obviously, and I mean, we haven't seen any reason to pull the other guys out. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy and it doesn't become an injury thing. But I got a lot of confidence in Jeff. I was talking to him the other day. I mean, he's the growth process as a weak side linebacker, is just in walkthroughs now. We haven't seen him in a game, haven't seen him since preseason, but I'm real hopeful for Jeff going forward, yeah.
Similar question, just how you've seen Ashton develop, and
Yeah.
what do you think his ceiling is?
Showed ball skills the other day, which was kind of cool. I still think we could have got him in there. If we could have got one other block, we could have scored there. I think he's on a great trajectory as far as what you want to get out of a rookie, a young guy. He's around some veterans, I think, that have been a real big help to him. I think he's got some versatility that maybe going forward we can do some different things with him. But right now, you know, he's getting as many reps as we can get him. I'd like to get him more in these next 3 games because I think he can do some things for us. But I'm real happy with what he's done so far.
What are
Couple
your
more.
thoughts of the young quarterback Cam Ward for the Titans? He's almost through his first year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he can zip that thing. He can spin it, as we say in the football world. He got a really strong arm, and he's another athletic quarterback. I see him make some throws, and you go, oh boy, that's scary. And I know it's been a little up and down for them, and they've dealt with their issues, some in the O-line. Got a good young receiver. I think both those backs are really good. I'm really impressed with number 2 Spears and the way he pass protects. He's a physical guy. But getting back to the quarterback, I mean, you know, I haven't studied every game. We watch the ones that we need to get ready for this particular game. But I think he's got a skill set that a lot of these quarterbacks in this day and age, you know, athletic and can throw. I mean, that means we got to be on point.
Last one, Zach.
Steve, speaking of skill set, Ashton mentioned yesterday on that interception that it was his first lifetime pick, and because he didn't drop back in high school and college.
Yeah.
How important is that skill for a defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys have been here long enough to see the way we function defensively. We ask our guys to do that. I mean, we've had Chris drop a couple. We don't do it much, but we've had him do it a couple times. And listen, when you can do that, the reason we do it, I think that the whole league does it, is it makes it a little bit tough for offenses in their protections at who's coming and who's not coming. And so we'll always have some version of that. But, you know, Ashton's what I call a natural knee bender, and he's got some athletic skill, change of direction-wise. So when a guy can do that, you know, going forward as a pass rusher and do it going back, that's helpful for us, you know, that versatility.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate you.
First off, let's just talk, right when Pat got hurt the other day, I mean, you right there was on your sideline. What went through your mind right away?
You don't know exactly what the deal is, what happens. I could just see the pain in his facial expression. I could hear him. So for me, it was just, you're going through that moment in the game, two parts of it. You want to be playing well in that game to be able to win the game, and we felt like we needed to be better. We got to that point to where we're going to go down and try to either kick a field goal to tie it or win the game, and then that happens. There's a lot of emotions that go through you instantly. You have a lot of hurt, not knowing, but kind of knowing when you see it, how what you think could happen or what it could be, and you certainly know he's not going to be in there for the next play. So there's a lot of emotions. It's an emotional game. That Patrick puts in so much time and investment into what he does, and he battles, and then for that to happen in that moment was hard. But we as coaches and as players for the rest of that game have to fight through that, and then it's very emotional in the locker room after the game, and it's a feeling I'll never forget for the rest of my life in that locker room afterwards for many reasons. And I do know that he's going to come back stronger than ever. I believe that, and I know it started a few days ago.
Matt, when you look at, I just want to ask about the complication of the offense has played very well in stretches over the course of the season. And it's, fourth quarter moments where, and I've just made this last week, but over the course of the season where it hasn't showed up, like how do you evaluate that as a coach when you see it consistently, but then not in those significant moments?
Yeah, you're spot on. You're right. You look back, and I think that's probably the part that's the most frustrating part is the lack of consistency. Every team has injuries in the league. Every team has things that go on within a game. They all handle adversity. When you go through these moments, and let's face it, there's been a lot of success in this organization in the last 13 years, a lot. So when you stumble into some of this where you're trying to search and find out, like, why is it? We had a stretch there this year on offense where we were probably as confident as we've been in years. And then you get to these last couple games, and at sometimes it just feels hard to even get that first down, in that game. So you search and you try to figure out why. What is it? And that's where when you're not winning and you're losing, it magnifies all that, which is real. And there's a lot to it. So I think it's very important for us as a staff to make sure that right now we know that we have 3 games left. We owe it to our players. We owe it as coaches. We owe it to the city to go out for these last 3 games. As much as people, there's no playoffs ahead of us, we still have to work to be better, and it's our job. So there's honest communications. We talk about accountability. We talk about honesty. We talk about commitment and consistency. And that's all stuff that you want to do throughout the year and strive to be great in those times. And just for whatever reason, it hasn't happened this year. And I will say too, like my role as an offensive coordinator, you run into these moments and these situations, and you have to start with yourself and make sure that you're real with the players, real with yourself, and then get answers. And I take that very seriously, and that's kind of where we're at. And we have 3 weeks left, and these guys have had a loud, clear message that that's what our job is moving forward, is to end the season on three wins, and then we got to dig into where we can be better.
Matt, you've been obviously in so many post-game locker rooms. I wonder if you might elaborate a little bit on why you won't forget this one and what distinguished it.
So the losing and knowing that you're basically eliminated from the playoffs, rare territory for us. Not easy. We put in a lot of time and energy to get to the playoffs so that anything can happen. We've done that for many, many years here. And you feel for the guys sacrifice so much, these players. And then on top of that, to see our leader, how he was after the game, that's why I've been in rooms where we haven't made the playoffs before, in 2014 being here. But when your leader has a significant injury and he's hurting for so many reasons, it can be shattering in that moment. But you can't feel sorry for anybody. You got to pick yourself up. And I think that's where I know Pat is at right now. And so when you talk to him, when you communicate with him, and you know where his spirits are and what he's going to do off of this, The only way to look at this in a positive light, which I think is sometimes really hard for people, is to, as much as it stinks right now that we're going through this, hopefully there's a silver lining for everybody, for why. And whatever that is, I don't know, but you have to believe that, and then you have to stick together. And it's not easy in today's world to do that, but the people that go through it, they tell on themselves when adversity hits, it reveals their character, and that's real. And so we're being challenged in this building right now to make sure and see who's reacting certain ways to finish strong. And then from there, you got to use this moment right now to come back and be better, all of us individually, for the next year.
Specifically, tinker when you don't have the something to play with. Is it time to take a look at some things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise look at? Whether it's personnel, or plays, or formations, or whatever.
Well, naturally, there's some of that with some injuries that go on, so you are forced to somewhat do that with some guys. And then, maybe to your credit, to your question, there is a little bit of that. You don't want to be in this spot. It's not a fun spot, but it is reminding all of us in the building how hard it is to get to what we have done, and that you can't take it for granted. It's hard. It's hard. So when we get to training camp, you get to the season, this is a feeling you got to remember. And so for some of the younger guys that are on this team that maybe haven't played as much, maybe they get some more time, and maybe, again, there's a silver lining for somebody somewhere, and that's how you have to approach it.
Specifically to Jalen Royals, has his playing time been limited just because of the talent in the room, or do you want to see more from his development?
So, no, it's not. Yeah, you want to see more talent. You want to see more time from him if possible. We've been in a position where, these wide receivers that we had. I mean, we feel very fortunate with the guys that we've had for the middle of the season on when Rasheed came back, and some of it's just a numbers thing for him, and it's almost like a redshirt year in a way. He's practicing hard in practice, but for him, there's a lot of good stuff there with him, and I think I'm excited to see what he's going to do, whether it's these next 3 games and/or the future. But yes, it's going to give some kids an opportunity to maybe get some more time that they wouldn't have gotten, and but it's our job to see that and to give them those chances.
Thank you, Coach.
So thank you, guys.
Happy holidays.
Same to you.
Yeah. Fire.
Hey, start with Jeff Bassa and just kind of what you've seen from his development and maybe what you'd like to see these last 3 games.
He's done a really nice job for us. His role obviously has been more in the kicking game, but he has stayed very dialed into defensively what we're doing. Does a really good job in terms of communication. Has done a nice job understanding the different roles that he could get put into. It's been a fortunate situation in terms of our health at that linebacker position. Hasn't required him to get a bunch of game action, but I've been really pleased with his development. He's in here early every day. He's working hard. He does a really good job of asking questions and watching the guys in front of him who do a great job.
Brandon, you've obviously been on such a streak, a personal streak too, of all these championship games. I wonder if it's too early for you to have kind of processed that. I mean, are you just so focused on the moment now, or does it jar you in a certain way to see it kind of come to an end for now?
Yeah, I would say you're probably right in that it's too soon to process all of that. I mean, I think the focus right now is on Tennessee and trying to prepare for this game and put our best foot forward and go and win the football game. I'm sure that'll come, as the reality when the season ends hits. But at the moment, like you're in the flow of it. It's honestly no different than it would be
if we were, whatever, 14-0 or whatever the case may be at this point. It's the next game, and you go about it day to day through your process the same way.
Is that your message to players who don't have that playoff carrot now out in front of them?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, listen, we're all, this is what we do, not who we are, but it's something that's really important to us, and we want to put our best foot forward. And each and every time we go and step out on the field, we understand that as coaches, as players, what we do out there, it's our walking, talking, living, breathing resume. And, you want that to be what you would like it to be. And you would like the results to be what you want them to be. Unfortunately, that hasn't gone, entirely the way that we'd like it to, which that's how it rolls sometimes, But it doesn't mean you stop working. It doesn't mean you stop pushing, trying to get better, trying to compete. It's just part of the nature of playing this game and being a part of it.
Few more.
You've got another young guy in Cooper McDonald. Again, a lot of special teams work.
Yeah.
But do you see him as being long-term a guy that could contribute on your side?
I like Cooper a lot, yeah, and he's done some really interesting and positive things. Both in the preseason, I thought he did a really nice job, which, again, you can see what we thought of that in terms of him being able to make our roster. And he had, some really good play on special teams. I don't want to speak for Dave Toub and that side of things, but I think he's done a nice job there. Again, he's been similar to Jeff in a role that he hasn't been asked to be on the field tremendously defensively, but he's in there early every day with Jeff. He's got different roles than Jeff, but has done a really nice job in terms of mentally, keeping himself up to speed in multiple different spots that he could be in. It's been impressive, and yeah, I think there's certainly a bright future for him, both of those guys.
Last one, Todd.
If Leo can't go this week, is that the spot Jeff would play some of these snaps?
We'll see how that goes. I think, Leo's role is so diverse in so many different things. He's not replaced by one person, to be honest. There's kind of a division of labor that would have to go into place there. And that's a little bit, those guys have been working because as you go through the season, okay, here, you would be next in this situation, in this position, in this package. But it's not necessarily just a, swap it out one for one type of situation.
The last thing I know about asked about, put a cap on everything that's happened this last decade of your coaching career, but I mean, just what's it been like for you personally this week? You've not been in this position in December.
No, but I've been in it, and it's been a while. It's been a while. That's right. To be honest, I go back to a little bit what Vahe's question was. I haven't allowed myself to go there necessarily. I'm sure I will at some point and reflect back, but it'll be after we get the season over. At this point, it's get ready for Tennessee.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys.
When you are.
Coach, you've gone through, I don't know maybe if you've ever had a year like this with so many things happening along your line. Where do you guys think you are right now with who you've been putting out the past couple of weeks and how they've done for you?
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of confidence in the guys that have been here and working. It's been a great opportunity for some of these young guys. I like the way they've responded and gone out and competed. We come to work every day to get better, and so that's where our focus is this week. That's where we're at.
How unique is this story with Pole, where it seemed like he was your 54th man, cast off to another team, released, and then has success instantly, like you've seen from him so far?
Yeah, well, we were excited to get Essa here in the first place, and excited for his opportunity there in New York, and lucky to get him back. And so he's a talented football player with, I think, a good football future ahead of him, and I love working with him.
And can you evaluate your guys' run game now, potentially where you guys want it to go in the future?
Yeah. We've been, we have a good idea about, those concepts that we're good at. We've been an efficient run team through the year. What we're looking for is, how can we get more explosive in the run game? And so, that's a constant effort, whether it's, what are we doing scheme-wise? How can we block it better? But I love the grit and toughness in our running backs. We spend a lot of time working at, these things. Now we've got a few different combinations in there, a few guys doing this. And there's a lot to, getting on the correct angle and being in phase with your buddy, with the back. So we've got a few weeks here to continue to try to improve that.
You've had a couple of international guys in the past, but Chew's the first one that's really had an opportunity to go in there. What have you got to learn about him over the last few years, and what was it like seeing him on Sunday getting that opportunity?
Yeah, Chew is a great person, and you don't design a tackle that looks any better than Chew looks. I mean, big, strong, athletic. So again, a guy that we're excited to have here to be able to work with. He's done a good job improving, from where he was when he first got here. And it just hasn't worked out that he's been on the field till the other day. I had every bit of confidence when he went in there that, he would do exactly what he did. And, he took a bunch of nice sets out there, knew what he was doing in the run game. And so I love working with Chew.
And you talked about the in phase and getting the angles cleaned up. What's the key to getting those corrections, having that work?
Well, there's no secret recipe to it. It's film review, drill work, teamwork. It's practice. It's putting in the work. And then we come back and we make corrections, and then we go out and we walk through it. So it's normal football work.
Couple more.
Coming into the year, there was a question about whether Kingsley, could be a starter. I guess how impressed had you been, just considering he would made the move and sort of has solidified himself as a guard in the NFL?
Yeah, I never had a question about that. Kingsley is big, strong, athletic, and he's done a really good job of steadily improving this year. And I look forward to him having a really strong career in there inside. I'm happy for him because I personally like the guy, love the guy, and so love to see him make steps every week here as we've gone through the year.
Last one, Toub.
Nobody's going to feel sorry for the Chiefs. You guys got a bunch of rings and everything, but you've had a player just not be here when you thought he was going to be. Your first snap of the game, guys get hurt. Have you had a year like this where it's just kind of snowballed and been this challenging for everything you've had to deal with on your line?
100%. I mean, I've been in this league a long time now, nearly 35 years. So yes, I've seen that, dealt with that. And, it's kind of whether it's a coach's mantra, hey, next man up, or it's definitely an O-lineman's mantra, stuff happens. Next man up, we roll. And then I'm just kind of that way by nature, too. I'm like, here's the situation, all right, we roll. And I just look forward and move forward with that. So, no, we don't want this to happen, but it's football. Stuff like this happens.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Fire away, guys.
Connor, you guys have had some issues against man coverage this year. I guess what would you attribute that to?
I think it's a mixture of things. I don't think you can just pinpoint it on one specific thing. So, like I said, it's probably a multitude of things.
What's been most frustrating for you, seeing how this season went?
Probably just like everyone else, we're just disappointed. You know, we had high goals and we came short of that. So that's probably it.
You went through this 2 years ago, kind of where drops became an issue as the season went along.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you can pinpoint as to why that became an issue this season?
Yeah, I think mostly the drops I feel like this year have been with some stuff where it's like they're, you know, it's trying to get the ball and make a move before they catch it. So it's usually with players that's their strength, where they catch the ball, get up the field. That's you know first step, go. And it's just happened this year where some of those just they didn't look it all the way in before they started running.
You evaluated Xavier Worthy in his progression this year.
Yeah, you know, the stats might not be there, but you know, he's been doing a lot of good things for us that really don't show up in the stat box. He's been a lot better in the room. You know, he's trying to become a leader in his second year, and you know, kind of take Jalen under his wings and kind of show him how to do things. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Xavier.
Have you seen some on-field progressions too?
Yeah, and just little things like, you know, route details. He's running a lot of different routes this year. We're moving him around. Again, just he's a super smart player. We can put him everywhere, as you guys have seen this year, and I think he can continue to grow.
How about Jalen's progress, and what do you expect from him the last few weeks?
Yeah, Jalen, you know, he's been working his tail off at practice. Super smart kid, stays locked into the meetings, and just like you said, you know, we'll see these next 3 games if he gets the opportunity to go out there and go make some plays.
How much did that knee tendonitis at the end of camp and the beginning of the season kind of slow him down?
Yeah, I think it did. Personally, just, you know, he was having a great training camp, great preseason, and, you know, he was kind of in a rhythm. Him and Pat, you know, were on the same page with stuff, and then I think it was just bad timing when all that stuff came to, and, you know, he worked his way through it and got through it. Like I said, you know, I really like where he's at. He's been working his butt off at practice and in the meeting room.
What's the mood been like in the room? You've got some guys hurt. You mentioned the drops. Where you guys are right now? What's it been like this week?
Yeah, I think it's just like everyone in the building. We're just disappointed, but we know we can't just keep our head down and feel bad for ourselves. We still got 3 games to, you know, go put good things on tape and you know, have the opportunity to go win. So that's all we can focus on right now.
Last one, Zach.
Connor, similar to Jesse's question on
Yeah.
Xavier, how would you evaluate Rashi Rice?
Yeah, same thing, similar to kind of like with Jalen, you know, with the suspension earlier in the season. You know, he was having a great training camp preseason and, you know, got suspended and had to go get away for a couple games. And coming back, I thought he got off to a hot start and, you know, continued to, you know, get better throughout the year. I thought he got better. And, you know, he was trying, you know, he's trying his all to be out there with this team, and similar to Xavier, he's trying to take that leadership role and lead all the young guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Hey guys.
Chris, what's the mood been this week? It was tough on Sunday, knowing you guys were out and so many guys got hurt and everything like that. What's it been like getting ready for this week and these last few games?
Most importantly, finishing strong. I mean, unfortunately, players didn't go as planned within the season aspect, but, you know, there's still a name on the back of your jersey you got to play for.
You think motivation will be an issue for this team these last 3 games?
No, it's still opportunities, man. It's still opportunities for you to broadcast, finish strong as an individual and together as a team from that perspective. So I don't ever need to be motivated when I step on the field, you know.
Chris, how difficult has this year been for you just from an injury standpoint? We know you had to leave the game last Sunday due to the hamstring. I know you're dealing with the groin. Just, has this year been more difficult just trying to maintain your body throughout the course of the year?
Not at all. You know, I've been very fortunate this year, especially with injuries. I think I got hit with a hamstring injury during the game because of a positioning off of a hit. But overall, I've been pretty good with the injury-wise this year.
When it comes to playing for the back of the name on the back of the jersey, for you, what do you want to get done in these next 3 games, just personally?
You know, next year is still around the corner. I want to finish strong. Make sure the D-line finish strong with momentum going into next year. Unfortunately, we didn't make it what we wanted to this year, but you know, that gives us room to improve next year. You know, success is rented every year. Every year you have to go out and earn it. Sometimes in life you don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn. So we didn't earn it this year, so it gives us the opportunity to finish strong and go into next year with momentum.
How much can a solid final 3 games do you think lead into success early for the defense next year?
I think it's huge, especially if we plan on building off of this with the young guys we have in the room. There's definitely some key points to where we can look at what type of talent we have and, you know, something to build off of.
You find, for you personally, as being one of the older guys and a leader, that it's kind of your responsibility to get that message to the young guys who maybe haven't been through a stretch like this? Yeah,
I mean, of course. I think it's to preach the emphasis on how important it is to finish. You know, you always want to finish strong. You know, especially when you got training camp, preseason. You want to use that momentum to continue to prevail. So I think I play a huge part in how we're going to approach that and the mind frame and the mindset of that.
Chris, how weird has it been just to not have Pat around?
That's very weird. You know, Pat usually the first one in the building, usually the last one out. We usually see each other when we're walking out, so it's been very weird. I hope my brother is doing okay. He's in good spirits. It's very unfortunate with the ACL, man. It's always tough, injuries. You know, it's a part of the game, but we're praying for him.
Couple more.
But I got to ask you about the Titans, right? They got a rookie quarterback. What have you seen from them? Because the games are out here to play. What do you see from him and their offense on tape?
They've gotten better, a lot better, and their defense. But my boy Jeff is doing really good also. You know, he's gotten better since the coaching change. They tend to get the ball out. They've been scoring like 20 to 30 points in each of their last 3 games. So tell you the improvement they're making on offense, and they're making strides. The rookie, he's a special kid, has a heck of an arm, and very mobile in the pocket. I think he has that angry run of the week. Like, he's strong too, man. He don't want to go down. So, you know, it's going to be tough, you know, trying to bring him down, but we got to affect him some way, figure out how to win the game.
Last one, anyone? Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.